You are watching South Asia Newsline, and here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Wednesday, the 8th of July. After landmark Indonesia visit, PM Modi heads to Australia. Activists in UK flag POJK crackdown, call for end to atrocity. And drug smuggling caused deadly Sri Lanka prison riot, says Justice Minister. And now for all the details. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi concluded his Indonesia trip with a visit to the UNESCO-listed Prambanan Temple on Wednesday before heading to Australia. He unveiled a conservation project for the ancient Hindu temple complex along with Indonesia's President Prabowo Subianto and thanked Indonesia for preserving the temple for nearly 12 centuries. During PM Modi's three-day trip, India and Indonesia strengthened strategic, defense and cultural ties by signing around 20 agreements, including a deal on the BrahMos cruise missile system. 5 Indonesian fighter jets escorted PM Modi's official plane as it departed the Indonesian airspace. After arriving in Melbourne, Prime Minister Modi is set to hold talks with his Australian counterpart Anthony Albanese on Thursday. The discussions are expected to focus on trade and defense cooperation. With Australia holding some of the world's largest uranium and lithium reserves, energy security and critical minerals partnership are likely to be key agenda items. India and Australia have significantly deepened ties in recent years through cooperation in the Quad and the Indo-Pacific. After Australia, PM Modi will travel to New Zealand later this week for the final leg of his three-nation tour. Heavy monsoon rains continue to batter several parts of India, triggering flash floods in Jammu and Kashmir and a deadly landslide in southern Kerala. The rains have caused widespread disruption to transport and daily life in western states, while the weather office warned of more heavy to very heavy rainfall. In Jammu and Kashmir's Doda district, intense rainfall triggered flash floods that damaged homes, washed away shops and left several people injured. Visuals from the areas showed vehicles buried under mud and debris, while large boulders blocked roads, hampering movement and restoration efforts. Authorities launched clearance operations as flood waters receded in parts of the district.
उधर से जो पत्थर थे बड़े वाले वो भी नीचे आए, आधा जितना मतलब जो मलबा था वो आधे से ज्यादा नीचे आया और आधों के तो घर आधे तो वो उजड़ ही गए। अब उधर क्या है, एक नंबर दूसरा जो उनका वो खाना पीना था वो भी उधरी, सब कुछ आधे से ज्यादा लोग भी जख्मी हो गए।
In Kerala, at least one person was killed and 7 others were reported missing after a landslide struck a tunnel construction site in Wayanad district, according to state authorities. Rescue and restoration teams were deployed to the affected areas. Heavy rainfall also affected western India. In Maharashtra's Palghar district, railway tracks were submerged, disrupting train services, while several areas in Gujarat witnessed waterlogging that inundated roads and residential neighborhoods. The Indian Meteorological Department has forecast continued rainfall over several parts of the country, urging authorities and residents in vulnerable areas to remain alert.
There is an unfortunate disaster was happened in Wayanad. During the construction of the tunnel in Wayanad districts, there was an accident. Now 7 persons are in the hospital. 1 person is reported that he died and 7 persons are missing.
Moving on, voices of support for protesters in POJK have echoed in the UK, where activists are holding demonstrations to demand an end to reported crackdown. British MP Bob Blackman has called for greater accountability over the situation. We have a report.
Leaders of Kashmiri socio-political organizations have alleged that the situation in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir continues to deteriorate, with restrictions on essential supplies and increasing pressure on the local population, while unrest simmers. In a demonstration outside the Pakistani consulate in Bradford, protesters claimed that food and medicines are being blocked. Several youths have allegedly been forcibly detained, and families are still waiting for the return of the bodies of their loved ones. In a major show of solidarity, earlier on Sunday, thousands joined the London Million March. Activists said the demonstration sent a strong message urging Pakistan to honor its commitments to the Joint Awami Action Committee and implement its charter of demands.
वहाँ पर पाकिस्तानी फोर्सेस जो हैं वो हमारे रियासती अवाम पर जुल्म कर रही हैं। आज़ाद कश्मीर के अंदर खुराक पर पाबंदी है, अदियात नहीं जाने दे रहे। बहुत सारे हमारे रियासती नौजवानों को पाकिस्तान की फोर्सेस ने अगवा कर रखा है। हमारे शोधा की लाशें जो है वो भी उठाकर ले गए हैं, वो लाशें वापस नहीं कर रहे हैं। तो 5 जुलाई को लंदन में बहुत बड़ा मुजाहरा हुआ है, जिसमें 1 लाख के करीब जो है लोग वहां पर मौजूद थे, जिसमें ख्वातीन, बच्चे, बूढ़े, नौजवान सभी शामिल थे। और ये हुकूमत पाकिस्तान और पाकिस्तान के हुक्मरानों के लिए एक बड़ा वाज़ेह मैसेज है कि अगर चार्टर ऑफ डिमांड जो आपने माना हुआ है, जो मुआहदा कर रखा है ज्वाइंट अवामी एक्शन कमेटी के साथ, उस मुआहदे पर अमल दरामद किया जाए।
हम यहाँ बैठे हुए हैं ब्रैडफोर्ड कॉन्सुलेट के बाहर। हम अपने उन दोस्तों के साथ जो इस वक्त रावलाकोट में धरना दिए बैठे हैं, जो एक्शन कमेटी के पूरे दोस्त जो जहाँ भी पूरे कश्मीर के अंदर इस वक्त मुश्किल में हैं, 4th शेड्यूल का सामना कर रहे हैं, कलादम करार दे दिए गए हैं। हमारे जो दोस्त और जो कॉमरेड्स वहाँ शहीद कर दिए गए, वो चीजें जो हमारी हिफाजत के लिए हमारे टैक्स के पैसों से खरीदी गई, उसी असला से आज हमारे लोगों को मारा जा रहा है। और हम कहते हैं कि फिलफोर जो है वो ये 4th शेड्यूल का खात्मा किया जाए, वहां से फोर्सेस को पीछे हटाया जाए और लोगों का जो पुरअमन लोगों के जो मुतालबात थे एक्शन कमेटी के, वो फिलफोर माने जाएं।
Meanwhile, British Conservative MP Bob Blackman has also criticized Pakistan over the reported killing of peaceful protesters in POJK, urging the UK government to take a tougher stand on the alleged human rights violations. Speaking in the UK Parliament, he questioned whether updating travel advice alone was sufficient and called on the government to summon Pakistan's High Commissioner for an explanation over the reported use of force against civilians.
And the bodies of 7 prison officers killed in a Sri Lankan prison riot that claimed the lives of 26 people and injured dozens were brought to the prison headquarters in Colombo on Wednesday for colleagues to pay their last respects. Justice Minister Harshana Nanayakkara consoled distraught prison officers and promised that justice will prevail. The deadly riot at a prison in Sri Lanka's coastal town of Negombo was triggered by a clash over drug smuggling inside the jail, authorities said on Tuesday. According to the Justice and National Integration Minister, the violence began after some inmates informed prison officials about attempts to smuggle drugs into the prison. This anchored another group allegedly involved in the smuggling, sparking the conflict. When prison officials intervened, prisoners reportedly attacked them with bricks and poles, forcing officers to open fire in self-defense. Authorities are still investigating how inmates obtained weapons and managed to disable CCTV cameras. To ease overcrowding, 734 inmates were transferred to other prisons. The Negombo prison housed around 2,400 inmates despite a capacity of just 650. Police, special forces and military personnel were deployed to restore order, while around 100 injured inmates and officials received hospital treatment. Sri Lanka has witnessed similar deadly prison riots in 2020 and 2012. Moving on, India has lodged a strong objection after an incorrect map depicting Jammu and Kashmir as part of Pakistan was displayed during a seminar in Bangladeshi capital Dhaka. The map was shown during a keynote address by former Bangladeshi ambassador Tariq A. Karim at an event organized by the Bangladesh Institute of International and Strategic Studies, attended by diplomats from several countries. Representing India, Pooja Kumari Jha, second secretary at the Indian High Commission in Dhaka, immediately objected to the depiction and reiterated that Jammu and Kashmir is an integral and inalienable part of India. Responding to the objection, Tariq Karim said the map was used only for symbolic purposes and was not intended to represent actual international boundaries. He also apologized following the Indian diplomat's intervention. So far, neither the Indian nor the Bangladeshi government has issued an official statement on the matter. And thousands of Bangladeshi football fans gathered in Dhaka early on Wednesday to watch Argentina battle Egypt in a tense World Cup knockout match, cheering their team to a dramatic comeback victory. Fans proudly backed Lionel Messi, whose popularity in Bangladesh rivals that of local sporting icons. Despite Egypt taking a 2-0 lead and controlling much of the game, Argentina supporters held on to hope. And the frustration turned to excitement in the 79th minute when Cristian Romero pulled one back. The atmosphere erupted 4 minutes later as Messi scored the equalizer, sending the crowd into a frenzy. And then Enzo Fernandez's winner, deep into stoppage time, sparked jubilant celebrations. Fans in Bangladesh poured onto the streets waving Argentina's flags and dancing along after the final whistle. Bangladesh has long been a stronghold of Latin American football fandom, particularly for Argentina and Brazil. While Brazil is already out of the tournament, Argentina fans are still rooting for their favorites to retain the World Cup title. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time tomorrow. Good night.